Warning! This podcast contains the Big Bad Wolf. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the SC9TV podcast for Once Upon a Time Rewind, Season 1, Episodes 14 and 15, Dreamy and Red-Handed. If you have not caught up through all of Season 5, all the way through the finale, turn back now, because we will probably be spoiling things, so
there is no going back.
GTFO. There is no going back. You're stuck here now. It's done. Mm-hmm. You can't close it. You can't hit pause. It's done.
You can, but...
No, you can't. We've disabled them.
Oh, wow.
We've gone into your computer, and we're there forever now.
Yep.
Oh, is that you?
It is. No. So, yeah. What would you guys... What are your opinions on these two episodes? Like, which out of the two, which are your favorites? Let's start off with
Dreamy is my favorite episode in this entire season.
Okay.
Not the entire show, but in this season, this is my favorite episode. Dreamy.
Okay. Clio?
I don't know.
You don't know. For me, it's Red-Handed all the way. It's my favorite episode of the whole series.
Really?
The whole series.
It's got the best twist, I think.
Yeah.
When I watched it the first time, I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, exactly.
I did see it coming. Because I wrote a story in second grade about this.
Nice.
That Little Red Riding Hood was the wolf.
That's actually kind of cool.
Once upon a time, you stole this from me. You stole it from my however old I was in second grade. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how you found out, but you did. And I refuse to believe that's not what happened.
He'll never convince me otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, for me, and I told you guys I'd let you know, and after starting Dreamy, is when I remembered. Dreamy is the episode I came back to. So episode 13 is actually the episode I stopped on. When I was just aggravated with the series and everything, and I took like a 3 or 4 week hiatus off watching it when it was on TV. And also because I think it actually went on part of a break around this time for like a 2-week break or something at the time that it aired. But a lot of it was to do with I just wanted to know what the hell was going on in the mine. And they were not going back to it, and I wanted to know, like, everything that was going on, and that was irritating me more than anything, and I just, like, I'm like, I'm done, they're going off, they left it, they went in another direction, we're never going to find out what happened in the mine, and, so I just got aggravated, because I'm like, this is lost all over again, and I can't do this to myself, like, I only have enough heart for one Lost in me, like, enough, to do that. So I abandoned it, and one of my friends was like, no, you need to see this most recent episode, and that's when the Red Riding Hood episode aired, and he didn't ruin it for me, so anything like that. So I was like, all right, I'm only 2 behind, so I'll go to that point, and I'll make my decision there. As soon as I saw Red Riding Hood, I was like, I am through, like, I'm with the series to the end. I don't care what the hell they do. They can kill off every single character on the show and leave nothing but Nova from the Dreamy episode, and I'd still watch. I don't even care at this point. So I'm here forever.
And yes, Alex, Disney should send me a check.
Yeah, Alex says Disney better sign you a check, Jacob. Yep. Sally, thank you for joining us. Brian as well. Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Yes. So, Dreamy, Jacob's favorite episode, starts with title card of the 7 Dwarves, and we open... Dwarves. Oh, yes, you're right. The 8 Dwarves. There are. You're right, Clio. The funny part is, I could have said that, like, 4 weeks ago, and Clio would have just been like, yeah, whatever, there's only 7 Dwarves.
But that's true. But Stealthy was literally in this episode.
Yeah, no, I know. But, like, I just loved up until, like, 4 weeks ago, it's a little more than 4 weeks ago. It was the episode that Stealthy was in the underworld. Up until that point, you're just like, I don't even remember there being an 8th dwarf, like, you're lying to me, all of you,
Yeah.
is basically, not exactly weird, but it's basically what was going through your mind. So,
Yeah, there's a good few minutes where I literally didn't believe you.
yeah. Yeah.
I was watching this episode with John, and he's like, "Oh, so these are the seven dwarves." I'm like, "Yes." And then like half the episode goes by, and then they're stealthy. And I'm like, "Oh no, wait, there are eight."
That's awesome.
Oops.
I made a mistake.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, this was really our first introduction to what the fairies actually do, right? Like, we knew that there were fairy godmothers, and Blue, was around prior to this, but this was our first real look at fairies. And it was our first real look at dwarves as well. Like, we've seen the dwarves, and we knew, Stealthy dies, and we knew all that stuff ahead of time, but we didn't really know exactly the dwarves' whole story here. So
They're eggs. You
Yeah.
hatch them.
they literally hatch out of eggs. Like,
That I didn't remember either.
yeah, that I remembered
Are there
it,
female
but
dwarves?
not.
Where did the eggs come from?
Yeah, like where are these eggs? And like, not only that, but I'm curious of the life expectancy of dwarves. If they come out like looking like a 40-year-old man at the age of 1, like, what is their lifespan?
When
Maybe they bake them too long.
when they came out of the eggs, I could not stop thinking about Gimli,
Yeah.
where he was telling the story. It's like some people don't believe there are any dwarf women, and they just pop out of holes in the ground.
Yeah. So it was just like, it raises so many questions, stuff that we probably will actually never get the answers to.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they will never bring up the fact that they came out of eggs ever.
Yeah. But I love the fact that when they cut to, what's his name in the Storybrooke? Leroy. When they cut to Leroy in the diner, like, cracking open the egg, too, like, I just love that cut. Love that cut.
There's a lot of those good cuts in this season.
Yeah.
They kind of got away from that.
Yeah, for sure. But we go through, this whole thing. I forgot Nova existed, for the record. Like,
Because she never comes up again.
Oh
Yeah.
no, I was always so mad that she never ever came back.
yeah.
'Cause that was his happy ending.
Yeah, it was his happy
Yeah.
ending. It was this whole story. And then when the curse is broken, she's never heard from again.
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe
sure a lot of
still-
that is
still
the
that
actress probably left, She's probably on for an episode, and, it's the end of it. But
Like,
what,
it's incredible.
yeah, but what's even more interesting to me is that the fairy dust, which, I know is explored, I think, in season 2, is made of diamonds. They mention that there, and I think that's how they get fairy dust in Storybrooke, that's why the dwarves are mining in, Storybrooke. But I want to go crush some diamonds now, right?
You can't do that. It's
What?
kind of impossible.
How is that impossible?
Because only a dwarf axe can cut a diamond. They established that
those
later in a later
diamonds.
episode.
Well, I'll go get a dwarf axe.
Yeah, just steal one.
Yeah, I'll go to Disney and take the
Dom's
one.
just-
Take the one that was in Rumpel's shop.
And then
Stealthy's
your
pickaxe
No.
was in the shop. The shop is gone now, just for the record.
Dom's just gonna get reborn in an egg, and he'll be a dwarf. That's gonna be fine.
Yes.
What was his dwarf name? Posty.
Fine. what is Jake's dwarf name?
Let me think. Hold on.
I'd ask what Clio's is, but there's no female dwarf, so
Oh, yeah, there is.
Oh, I
That'd
have
be
a
fun
good
to
one
see.
for me.
what would yours be, Clio, if there were female dwarfs?
Farty.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
Of course. So, what was yours, Jake?
I would be clumsy.
Clumsy. Okay, I can see
I
that.
have no.
I like
I
that.
have no hand-eye coordination whatsoever. Yeah, I was on the baseball team for 2
Clumsy
years.
actually sounds like it could be one of the 7 dwarves. If,
Yeah.
Like if there
Sounds
was
legit.
no, you're the 9th dwarf as far as I'm concerned. So, but Alex says, this was the first time that he really started to hate the blue fairy. #ShadyBlue. And yeah, she's definitely kind of a dick here because, it's the whole, oh, fuck true love and, kind of manipulating Dreamy and like, yeah, well, Nova will lose her wings and it'll be your fault and blah, blah, you know, it's just like, you really gonna do that for true love? Like, don't you understand the power of true love? And
But that's
you're a
what
fairy.
gets me.
Someone did that to her. That's what I
Yeah.
feel like happened. She fell in
Yeah.
love with somebody. Someone said she couldn't.
Yeah.
And now she just
I
took
mean,
up shit on everyone else.
but she's a fairy. She's like the head of the fairies. She understands the power of true love. Like that's
Right.
what gets me. And I don't know. Blues never really made 100% sense to me
No. And,
throughout the whole thing.
Sally says, you know, I still think Blue is up to something. I know Sally's been with us for a while, and she's always, that's like been a theory that she's been running on forever.
She is the villain of the entire season. We just didn't know yet. And at the end of the show, the very end of the show, they're going to do entire flashback sequences where they show her in places you didn't know where she was, but she was there. She was constructing everything, and you're going to be like,
and
you think Rumple's got his hands in everything?
Well,
Rumple ain't shit.
no.
Blue's been doing everything.
Well, at the same time, you know, like Rumple's their landlord here, and when Leroy goes to talk to him, you know, he's like, oh, I don't like the nuns, you know, he's really not, you know, it made Rumple or Mr. Gold, it made him really seem like a dick. But it's not the nuns that he hates, because don't forget,
fairies.
he's got his memories, so he's not prejudiced against the nuns. He's prejudiced against the fairies, and he's got good reason.
Blue specifically.
Yeah, he's got good reason, and we don't find that out until I think it was season 3.
Actually, we find it out in this season.
Is it season? Okay.
Is it?
It's season 3 that we find out what happens when a fairy loses its wings. That's this season when we do Balefire's story.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's because
that's when we find out what happened.
Yes.
Yeah, it's because Blue gives him the bean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, that kind of starts this whole grudge against the fairies and everything.
To further that Blue is behind everything theory, in that episode where we find out about Blue and Rumple's past, in that episode they told like the myth of this like creature that was like so evil but it could do anything, like had more power than the Dark One, and it turns out it was Blue.
Yeah. I think that if I'm not mistaken, it's either episode 19 or 20. It's before the finale. It's not obvious. It's obviously not the finale, but I feel like it's 19 or 20, something like that. So it's coming up. It's coming up soon.
Alex thinks the blue fairy is Rumpelstiltskin's mother.
That would kind of be cool too.
Because that's something they never even and I guess I never even bothered to ask because we were so blown away by Pan being his father. But they never touched on it, never mentioned a mother.
I mean, you guys were blown away. I saw it coming a mile away.
Shut up! Yeah. You were blown away too. You had no fucking idea your stupid ass theory was right. Because we all sat down, and you were just like, I don't believe it.
Yeah,
I'm right.
Yeah, and that's where this thing started. Where Dom is always right, you know. So
just like Pan never fails.
Yeah, Dom never fails.
I know so many things.
I'm in the boat with you now, Dom. Though that Pan's coming back.
Okay, good.
He's totally coming back.
And is that boat floating in the river of lost souls?
Yes. Yes.
So me and you are gonna fish him out, is what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
I will jump in there. I will grab Robbie K if I have to get him back on my TV.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'll do what Hercules did in the movie. Just swim in there, scoop him back up.
In the show, nobody's ever dead unless they're dead, and even then, they're not dead. So.
Yep. Yeah, I still think that most of the characters that got pushed in the River of Lost Souls are coming back, but that's a total tangent. Sorry.
Yeah.
Auntie
I started that.
Mila. Yeah. James. All of them. Gaston.
The good Gaston.
Yes.
Yeah. Not the skinny one.
But we also have Dreamy, he's fawning over Nova in the Enchanted Forest and everything, and he actually runs into Belle. I kind of forgot about this whole scene with Belle and Dreamy, and I was trying to place where in Belle's story this actually took place, and I think this is right after she left Rumple's castle, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And she was wearing the same outfit.
She was wearing
Was
what?
it the
Oh
same?
yeah,
She was wearing the same outfit, and she's like, after that, she's like, I need a fucking drink.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, of course. But well, my logic was okay. She's still wearing like a dress, so it can't be too long after that because she gets like riding gear and pants and stuff when she goes off with, you know,
Yeah,
whatever
Mulan
her other
and Philip.
adventures
Mulan.
were.
Yeah,
She's had adventures with everybody.
Yeah.
Mulan and
And
Philip.
supposedly we're getting more backstory for her in the next season. And Jake was saying to us earlier, like, how much more Belle backstory do we need? We practically know everything. And I'm like, but there's all these untold stories. So
Yeah, no.
you know, she's gonna be tied to them somehow, and especially
And
it
she's
makes
related to
sense
somebody else.
because she loves stories. You know, so she seems like there would be a lot of time in there where she spent traveling or doing something like that. So, you know.
I'm excited for my Belle.
Yeah, but Belle is inevitably she's the one that convinces Dreamy to go pursue Nova, and you know they run to Firefly Hill. Jake, I don't remember. Is Firefly Hill on your map?
It is not on my map, and that is only because it's a hill.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes sense. But we do know it overlooks a village and a castle, and I believe it is the same castle that Snow was prisoner in. So that would be King James's castle, right? Because that's the
Wait.
one Snow was locked in.
Was it? Oh yeah, yeah. It's
It was the one with the huge courtyard.
King George's castle. Yeah.
Yeah. So
George, right? James was the son.
yeah. So Firefly Hill is really close to that. It overlooks. You can see the castle in the distance. You know you see the village and stuff like that. So that kind of place is somewhere around where Firefly Hill is. But I just love when he ends up shooting Nova down. You know, she's like, "Oh, I got the boat and everything." He shoots her down, but when he gets back is what I love. Not the fact that he shot her down. When he gets back, and Stealthy is just like, "Look, if you wanted to sneak out, you should have come talk to me." And I was just like, "You're not very stealthy."
Got something to tell you, Stealthy.
And then all
Gotta
the
break it to
dwarves, all the dwarves are super happy for Leroy. They're all like hugging him and everything.
Get
and,
your girl.
And
Get your
Stealthy's
dream.
just standing there with like a puss on his
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. I was like, "What's up your butt, dude?"
It's like you should have been
I know what
grumpy,
they
not
got.
Stealthy.
Yeah, really.
So, but then we see how true love turned Dreamy into stealth. I mean, into grumpy, and the breaking
losing
of the
true
axe.
love.
Yeah, losing it. But
And this is why
We don't
this is
even
my
know if that
favorite.
was true love, though. That was just love.
It totally is.
how?
Whoa.
We didn't get the magical whooshy whoosh kiss, but I believe it's
I think
No, I love
think it was.
I
too.
love this episode because when I first saw this episode, I was thinking to myself, and it was that scene where Dreamy goes back to Nova and he tells her, "Well, we can't be together because you're a fairy, I'm a dwarf. Like that, we don't do that."
Racist.
And she's just bawling. She's screaming at him, and like you can tell he's trying to save face. Like he knows, like, this is not what I want to do, but everyone told me I have to.
Yeah.
Like conformity and shit. Like fuck that. And
That's what made
it
him
was
so
like
grumpy.
that emotional scene. That is why this is my favorite episode. And it was that point when I was watching the show for the first time. I was crying myself. I was getting emotional. I'm like, this show is supposed to be about happy endings and hope and true love, and no one is happy in this fairy tale land where everything's supposed to be happy. And why is everyone so miserable and crying? And why am I miserable and crying?
Yeah. No, but I also remember, because like I said, this is me coming back from like the original time when I was first watching this back in season 1. This is me coming back from like a 4-week break, coming back to this episode, and the whole Enchanted Forest thing isn't really, in this particular episode, isn't what won me over with the episode. It was actually the stuff that was going on with Miner's Day for some strange reason. And it was seeing Leroy and Mary Margaret, and I was so over the Mary Margaret David storyline, that whole thing, because to me, number one is it was at this, up to this point, it's been boring and dull, and it replaced my what the fuck is going on in the mine story. So I was like very over this story before it even started, kind of thing, because I still wanted to know what the hell was going on in the mine at this point. But with here, this is where the story started getting interesting, because now, you know, we have Catherine missing, and it's starting to be like the mystery of, ooh, what happened to Catherine? And we know Regina kind of had her hands in it at this point, but we didn't quite know how. We didn't know where it was going, and all that was super interesting to me. And then you have Leroy, who's the town drunk and no one wants to associate him, and Mary Margaret, who's the town harlot, as Leroy put it, and no one wants to associate with her. And the two of them have to, like, team up and overcome all odds. And I was just like, this is fantastic. Like, I love this aspect of the story.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I love about. It's one of the things I love about this show is the interactions between characters.
Yeah.
Because like it's dynamics like that, which wouldn't happen in any other circumstance except for in this show, because you know shit happens in this show. So I like seeing these different characters play off each other.
Yeah. Yeah, it was great. And then, you know, you had the candles for the fundraiser, and, you know, this is where we find out about Mr. Gold being the landlord, and, you know, all that. And, you know, like we talked about, Gold's got a reason for being a dick, you know, and Leroy likes Astrid, which, you know, it makes you wonder how much of the curse controls your feelings, you know? Because we see, despite the curse, we've seen Mary Margaret and David drawn together. We've seen Emma and Snow drawn together. We've seen
This is
Leroy
only because
and
It's only because Emma is in town. Because
Yes.
before Emma showed up, none of this happened.
None of it.
Everyone just kept living the same day over and over again.
yeah.
It's because there's this little chip in the curse
chip
now.
cup.
There's a chipped cup in the curse now. Thanks to Emma showing up.
Yeah.
'Cause the clock's moving. You know, so that's why this is happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
if Emma
guess.
showed up, everyone would have just been, you know, miserable, and they'd be living their crappy lives. And no one would have been happy because Regina wasn't even happy.
That's true.
But
Like,
I just
that's the reason why she casted this curse. It's not working.
yeah. I just remember, like, at the whole thing I'm watching, and I'm like, they're never going to be able to sell these candles. Like, realistically, there's no way. Like, anything they could
5,000
possibly do is never going to sell these candles. And then that's when Leroy climbed to the top and put an axe through the pickaxe through the transformer. And I was just like,
Jump.
this is brilliant. Like, this is the best
Yeah.
way ever to sell candles. You know, like, it is...
Y'all need to see in the dark.
Yeah.
Candle sales. No, 5,000 candles. There's not even 5,000 people in that town. There's not even 100 people in that
Well,
town.
no, each candle's not going to be worth $1. Those are big candles.
Yeah.
They're probably $5.
They were dull-looking candles.
They're plain looking candles, yes, but that's a hunking candle. That'll last you a while, so
Yeah.
they're definitely $5 at least.
Yeah, minimum $5 per candle, I'd
So they
say.
bought flashlights.
Well, they were out in the middle, you know, it's not like they were in their homes when this happened. They're out on the street, kind of, you know,
Those are
thing.
body candles.
But what gets me is Leroy just raised over $5,000 for these candles, but he cost maybe about $5,000 worth of damage to the town budget to fix this transformer.
But it's not the nuns' budget. It's
That
the
is
town's
true.
budget.
That is true.
So he did save the nuns. Cost the town, but save the nuns.
That is true, but it's still, because
Yeah.
I looked into it because I was curious, and a transformer that size can cost anywhere between $2,500 to $4,000 plus labor, and the labor is not cheap to install. You know,
Yeah, but
it's not just lifting a box. Oh, we lost Jake. It's not just lifting a box into the air and attaching a couple wires to it. It's kind of a big to do.
they probably wouldn't have had to replace the transformer.
Yeah.
They probably could have fixed that transformer.
Yeah.
So, you know, you wouldn't have had to replace it, just, you know, get someone to fix it, which, yes, would still be a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. My uncle works for for the electric company,
Hmm.
and I should ask him.
Yeah.
He would know.
Ask him specifically, if somebody put a pickaxe through a transformer, what would it cost?
I'll show him the scene.
Okay, yeah.
How much would it cost to fix that?
Yeah. So he's probably gonna, you know, ask you to pause it so you can try to see the voltage on the the transformer and all that, you know. But one to power a town,
Yeah.
you know. Hopefully we get Jacob back here. I will try recalling again.
Come back, Pan.
Yes, Peter. Peter, come back. It still shows him online, so I'm not sure. And Clio's just red with anger that
I'm
he's
mad
gone.
because he's gone. Brr.
Yes. You know, and then all of this, you have the one scene with Granny, you know, lighting Snow's candle, and I'm like, did that just like supposedly fix everything?
Yeah,
Like,
I know. It was just like you were literally a bitch to her yesterday. Like you were the worst person to her. Like what the fuck is wrong with you? I watching these all over again. I fucking hate Granny.
it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna light your candle.
And I mean, what
And
was it last season?
everything is fine again. Like, the whole town loves you now because you sold candles.
Fuck you, Granny.
You know?
What season
Welcome back,
was it?
Jake.
Where her and Granny and
Look how
Grumpy
mad
were trying
Clio
to-
is right now. She is
So mad.
furious.
What season was it where Granny and Leroy were like inciting a riot?
Season 2? I think it was.
Yeah, it was season 2. It was, wasn't it around the time of Tiny?
I don't know.
I feel like it was around the time of Tiny. They were, like, rioting to get the giant out or something.
They're always
Yeah,
right.
but it was like it was that point where I was like, "Ah, Granny, you're a bitch," but I realized she's just been a bitch the whole time.
Yeah. So,
Fist bump.
yeah. Yep. Fuck you, Granny. But then I loved her again in the next episode, you know, but we'll get to that in a second. You know, and then we had the whole Catherine Nolan missing kind of storyline I talked about that kind of interesting to me. This time around, I caught this that I didn't catch the first time because I wasn't paying as close attention the first time around. They said gym teacher found the car. Who is the gym teacher?
Jim.
Yeah. It's Frederick.
Frederick.
Frederick was the gym teacher. So it's
Oh.
you know, that little things like that, you know, coming back now that you're paying more attention to the story are just
Yeah.
really cool because you're just like, oh, whatever,
That's
gym
funny.
teacher. I wouldn't have even picked it up if we didn't focus on the fact that Jim, his name is Jim, by the way, as well.
And he's
Jim
the
in
gym
Storybrooke is the gym teacher, you know, and that is Frederick, and
Fitting.
yeah,
I didn't even know that was Frederick.
yeah.
Was that an episode I missed?
No, that was last
Oh.
week. What happened to
I don't.
Frederick?
Yeah, no, I remember Frederick. I don't remember them calling him Jim though.
He was in one episode. That's it.
Okay.
He's never been
Never seen
back.
again. Never.
Never been back in Storybrooke.
He died.
I also drank a lot while we were talking about that episode.
You did. Thanks to
all your fault,
thanks to Jake.
Welcome. That was fine. I would drink my water.
Yeah. You know, and then you have Sydney still helping Regina. He's offering to get the phone records for,
Sydney.
you know, yeah, right. Phone records for Catherine's phone. While David's, you know, basically he gets locked up at the end of it for it. Not really locked up, but he comes in for questioning. And then I don't know if you guys noticed, but Henry was not in this episode at all.
Yes, he was.
Mhm.
Oh wait, no, he wasn't.
Not
He
not one
Right.
time. Zero scenes with Henry. He could have just shown up
Zero
at Miner's Day.
times.
He could have been walking around, even if he wasn't, you know, a dialogue line or, you know, a main plot point. He could have been at least there, but he wasn't.
He was grounded. He had
Yeah.
homework to do.
Probably.
He doesn't do his homework.
So,
Henry
I feel
doesn't
like there's going to be another episode or two that has, you know, comes up within the next season that doesn't have Henry, but Henry has basically been in every episode since.
Well, he's a child actor, and
Yeah.
he only has a certain amount of hours,
Right.
Yeah.
a maximum amount of hours that he can actually show up in. So he probably just exceeded them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like always, the lost references, the unsold 42 candles.
Oh yeah, 42.
Yeah. And the Catherine and David's phone call, according to the records, lasted for 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
Yeah. So that's our lost references for the show.
Sure, there wasn't a 15 somewhere in there.
No. No.
Or numbers that added up to another number.
I mean, on the phone bill, on the phone records, which we didn't really get a good look at, they might have had something like that, but that was it for that. But then the Red Riding Hood episode, I'm just gonna get the Lost stuff out of the way first and foremost. She said when they were tracking the Wolf Prince, she said the tracks are 8 inches apart, and when Ruby was looking for jobs, there's a temporary job for a control specialist that was only available, or the job was only for 8 months. So another 8. So, but yeah. So this episode, Red-Handed, title card was Red Riding Hood. I have to refrain from calling her Little Red Riding Hood because she's not very little, but
No.
it's Red Riding Hood.
In her 20s.
Yeah.
Red.
Ruby.
Huh?
I just call her Ruby. That's her name.
Well, that's her name in Storybook.
Or Red.
Isn't that her actual name? Ruby?
No.
I feel like they call her Ruby.
They do, but in Storybrooke, we had during the fight between Granny and Ruby, Granny called her Eliza.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
Where'd she get Ruby from?
I don't know.
Is that her middle
Nickname.
name?
It's got to be just a nickname.
I've been calling her Ruby.
Which
this
is
whole
funny.
time.
How did I never notice this before? I guess because I always call her Red.
Yeah.
Like I hardly ever call her
always call her
anything
Ruby.
but Red. But she's in love with Dorothy.
Yeah.
Dorothy wore ruby slippers.
Ruby.
Yeah.
Ruby.
That's their ship name, Ruby Slippers.
Yeah. I fucking love that. I think it's great.
That was the title of the episode. They gave us the ship name in the title.
That is true.
Yeah, that is. That's fantastic.
So, like, just in case you guys don't know, this is people were bearing up.
Yep.
We've done the work for you. There you go.
Yep. So the David story continued over into this episode. David's still the number one suspect. However, they're not even sure if there's a crime at the start of the episode. And then David's off in the woods looking for Catherine. He doesn't remember ever leaving Emma's office, though, which he's in like some kind of weird trance.
Do they ever explain this?
They don't. They
Really?
don't ever explain this.
Like he's like just vacant.
Yeah, I mean,
Going off
we
whatever.
saw Doctor. What's
Well,
Dr.
Whale.
Whale, yeah. I couldn't think of his fake name. We see Dr. Whale like explaining, oh, these are characteristics of, the residual effects of your coma and blah, so they kind of explained it in that fashion.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
it, though.
Yeah,
But-
it seems like it's a spell,
Mm.
to me. You know.
Yeah.
But, and then we had Ruby helping in the investigation because she was sitting there chatting with August for a bit, about lemurs and adventures, and Granny's getting mad that she's flirting.
Yeah.
And they get into a big fight, and she just quits and moves in with Mary Margaret and Emma and goes to work at the sheriff's station.
For a day.
For a whole day. Whopping
Whole day.
1 day.
That's most than what my jobs were, so good on you.
Yeah. But really, like, how difficult is answering phone calls? Like, granted, she
Oh, it's
did some
very
field work, and the field work
fucking
is what
hate
scared
that.
her off.
Yes.
But, I would have been like, cool, let's keep going, I'm not going to go back and work at the boring old diner now.
No, I'm like Emma. If I could hire someone to answer my goddamn phone calls, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to deal with
100%.
people.
I need
Keep
room in
talking
my
on the phone.
budget for that.
I will deal with people. I want to talk to their face.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk to them on the phone at all.
I agree. I'd rather text.
Exactly.
I don't think they have that in this town.
Probably not. No.
Well, they're still running Windows 95, so.
And Ruby had the flip phone.
They just got Netflix,
yeah.
guys.
I don't even think Netflix is invented yet.
No, they have it because Emma said to Hook one time, like, "Oh, you want to go see what's on Netflix?" He's like, "I don't know what that is, but sure."
Yeah, no, I'm saying at that stage, I think it was because the timeline had advanced so far. But I think at this present point that we are in season 1, I don't think Netflix is even invented. I don't know what year
they're
season
watching
1.
their movies.
Yeah, right. They're watching all their movies. But yeah,
They're watching the show.
Yeah, Ruby, she ends up being the one to find I think does it end up, it's Snow's jewelry box, right? Is that
Yeah.
what we end up finding out next episode?
Yeah, it's her jewelry box.
Yeah,
That she never reported missing.
Right. It's in a jewelry box at the Troll Bridge, which is the last place David went to the last time he blacked out. And it has a supposed human heart in it that is supposedly Catherine's. Yeah.
Must be traumatizing.
It was so traumatizing that Ruby went back to the diner.
But the hearts in the show, they always look fake to me. They look like hard candy. They look like rock candy.
Yeah. Well, that's the enchanted hearts, right?
Yeah.
This is not an enchanted heart in the box. This is.
Are we sure? Oh yeah, it wasn't glowing.
Yeah. So, if it was glowing, that would raise a whole bunch of other questions, and I don't think they'd be, without knowing what magic is and all that stuff, I don't think they would be able to identify a crystal glowing object in a box as a heart. That wouldn't even be a thought. Right. So they'd be like, "Oh, look at this toy someone left in the box,"
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, oh no, I dropped it.
So at this point, it's an actual human heart. Alex asks in chat, is it true that the old fairy tale for Riding Hood was a little bit sexual?
That's what it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Because back then they would scare kids to teach them lessons. So that's what the original idea for this story is. The Big Bad Wolf is a representation of a rapist.
Yeah, and me and my friends were just talking about Into the Woods.
Mm-hmm.
And how, like, Johnny Depp somehow takes that creepy character and makes it even creepier.
He's got a knack for that.
Yeah.
But this whole Enchanted Forest storyline is, like I said, this is the one that hooked me in. Because the first time through, didn't see the wolf coming at all. And, now going through watching it the second time and, like, seeing there were so many things that they were subliminally trying to make you think that Peter was the wolf for. Like, when he comes up at the very beginning, he's like, I'm going to huff and I'm going to puff. And, it's clearly, like, subliminally trying to get you think of he's the big bad wolf. So you're instantly already meeting him, and the first thought in your mind is wolf.
I mean, the story of Peter and the wolf.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
That too.
Well, show love the wolf.
Well, Peter and the wolf would imply that Ruby is the wolf.
No, but that is also that's another story with the wolf.
Yeah. So there's two things that subliminally have you thinking wolf when you hear Peter's name, right off the bat. And then we had Granny, which they called her Lucas. So I think that's her last name.
Granny Lucas.
Granny Lucas. That, like, when the whole town, messages, has that meeting, and they're all discussing the wolf, and she's telling, that whole story of 70 years ago, which, for those of you not knowing, that's 60 years ago, in the Second Ogre's War. So this would not be the war that we've already seen with Rumple and Balefire. This is the one that takes place after that, which also makes it not Belle's Ogre War.
Yes.
So, as of what we've seen so far, there are 3 Ogre Wars.
Yes.
There's like
maybe
8
more.
Wars. Come on.
There may be more,
but
as of right now, there's 3. I think one actually took place while they're in Storybrooke. Later on, we find out, that when Cora's spell and everything, it protected some of them, and when time froze and all that, and then they were fighting off. So there was another Ogre War while everybody's in Storybrooke. So,
dude, why is everyone so mean to the ogres? What the hell?
Because I want to see the first Ogre War. What happened? Did someone steal a pig? What? That's probably what happened. That's probably what happened when this whole thing started.
Yeah, a pig strayed from
didn't we
a farm or whatever, an ogre picked it up and ate it.
Am I not remembering this correctly? Didn't we have a story about a baby ogre?
Yes, that was Belle, with Belle though.
Yeah, Belle and Gaston.
That's what started Belle's Ogre War.
Yeah, so we know how the third one started, but yeah, we don't know how the first or the second one started.
Someone threw a rock at somebody, and that's how this whole thing started.
More or less.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brian said, "Did anybody notice the no pet sign on the door of the diner?" No, I didn't actually.
What did it say? No.
No pets.
No pets.
So basically,
I
Ruby
didn't see that.
GTFO.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Alex is saying, I heard for Cruella DeVille, they had about 4 background stories, and one of them was supposed to be Ruby's mother, because her name was Anita.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
We never had any other. The only 101 Dalmatian characters we've had are Pongo and Cruella. So yeah, Roger and Anita never made an appearance.
Yeah.
But then Anita would be. But Anita's from London, so she got to the Enchanted Forest
Yeah.
somehow. But then that means Anita's dead, and
Well, didn't we meet Ruby's mother?
yeah, we did in the next season.
It was season 2? I couldn't remember if it was 2 or 3.
Yeah, it was season 2. Then
2.
that's when she learned how to control her wolf.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
Oh my God, you're right. We did meet her.
Yeah. Yeah, because, we learned that Ruby's the wolf, all that, and, when they're like, yeah, no, Red's fine, like, we tied up Peter, he's the wolf, and Granny just goes, that
Great
poor
plan.
boy, and she just runs off.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, shit, and that's when they cut, and Peter's screaming,
Tell
Ruby, no,
people
don't, and
things.
my jaw, very first time I watched, dropped. It was just like, no fucking way. Like, it's the fact that I'm able to call Peter Pan as Rumpelstiltskin's father, and that not like, yes, I was not 100% believing that when I said it back in season
This
3.
was before.
Yes, I was kind of shocked when that ended up being true, but not as shocked as I was to find out that Red was the wolf. That was like, oh my God. And it's hard. It's hard for a show to pull the wool over my eyes like that, because I usually see this stuff coming a mile away. Jacob's a bit of an exception in this case because of a story he ended up writing, so the idea was still plausible to him.
Yeah, but later on there is a twist that did get me like that.
Yeah.
And I probably should have saw it coming, but I didn't. But I'll talk about it when we get to it.
Yeah. Okay. So, we find out that Ruby's mother was a wolf that Granny supposedly knew. However, she says the mother was killed in a hunting party. So I don't know if Granny's just making this up so Ruby doesn't go looking for her mother. Like, was
In
that...
think
that episode,
so.
In that episode where we do meet her mother said, yeah, well, like, Granny didn't agree with my ideals, because Ruby's mother's ideals are, be one with the wolf, and that's how you can control it. Like, be proud that you're a wolf. Granny seemed to be ashamed that they were wolves.
Gotcha. Yeah. And the other thing, that they were talking about, Granny was like, oh, I paid a wizard for the cloak. I'm like, what? Did we ever find out who the wizard was?
Merlin, maybe?
That's what I'm thinking.
I think it's
probably Rumple.
Rumple. I was gonna say it's gotta be Rumple.
I don't know. I don't know if we ever found out. I don't think we did.
Yeah, we did.
I just assumed it was Rumple.
Yeah.
The only wizards we know are Rumple the Apprentice.
Is he a wizard though?
They call him a
Rumple?
wizard sometimes.
Yeah. I
There are
thought they
people
called him
who-
a
More of
sorcerer.
a sorcerer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's more of a sorcerer, but could be a wizard.
Yeah, I guess. And she's like, well, it keeps her from turning, but she never wears it, kind of thing. But then Granny was, telling the story of Ruby's grandfather, how he was a wolf, and he actually turned Granny. So apparently the scratch from a wolf is what turns them too.
No, it bit her. She said it bit her arm.
Okay, because it didn't look like a
That
bite
was a
mark. It looked like a claw.
But scratches turn too, depending on what lore you're following.
Yeah.
So I just
This is-
assumed it was a scratch.
This is a metaphor, you guys. Think about it for a second. Fighting.
Vampire?
No, it's a metaphor for a real life thing.
Vampire?
Jeez.
Huh?
I'm not a vampire. Do I have to spell this out?
Yes.
Do I really have to spell this out?
Vampire.
No. STD.
Okay.
I guess. So you're saying Ruby is a walking STD?
That's what this is what the vampire and werewolf mythology is. That's basically what it is an allegory for.
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah, and I don't think every one of them is, but
Yeah, the
I did a
original
report on
kind of.
this.
I don't know if it was ever intended on being that, but it's kind of what it's turned into in some tellings. You know, like you can't tell me Bram Stoker's Dracula was an allegory for an STD.
no, but it was an allegory for sex and
Yes.
that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's in traditional werewolf lore, because I never thought of, oh, the big bad wolf is a werewolf. You know, so that's adding more depth to the Red
Yeah.
Riding Hood story on top of it. And it's just like Granny's can, though she's too old to turn into a wolf, she still has the heightened senses. The silver tipped arrow still is their weakness. You know, it took her down. And then we see her waking up confused. So that explains how they don't know what the hell's
Unless you're made
going
aware
on
of
with the
it.
transformation, So, but yeah, I don't know. These two episodes were both fantastic in my opinion. Red Riding Hood was my favorite of the two. I think personally, if you did not write that story in second grade, Jake, that this would have blown you away, this episode, and it may have superseded Dreamy for you. Because I
Maybe
think the
it's
shock
still
and surprise factor was dulled on you because it's something you'd seen before. Me going into this, I've never heard of any telling, variation, fanfic, anything where Red Riding Hood and the Big Bad Wolf were the same person. Never.
well. I'm a writer, so like I can pick up on certain cues. To this episode's credit, it didn't have those cues.
Right.
The only reason I was able to figure it out is because I've written this before and I just made an assumption.
Right.
But it's still a good episode, even knowing that coming in, because I watched it again, for the show, and it's still pretty good, and it's very it's one of those episodes that I feel like stands out from all the other ones. Like there are episodes in the show where like you're kind of aware that they happened, but you didn't really remember what it was. And this episode it's a very prominent one.
Yeah. I think, like, upon second viewing, it's not as good of an episode, So, like, to me, this will always be my favorite because of the initial shock factor of it. Repeated viewings are always gonna not be as good the first, the second, second, third, fourth, fifth times around as it was the first time. It's like, I know it's an old movie, whatever. I'm not going to talk about it at this point, but Saw, the ending of that movie, not that it surprises me anymore, but it's still like the way everything like all adds up, and it's kind of like what you were saying about Blue, how they're going to reveal like how all this stuff was tied in together. Like Saw does all that, and with the music and the way that the character like reveals itself, it's just so eerie and chilling to me that I actually get goosebumps and my hair stands up on my arms every time I watch the movie all the way through. I can't just like watch that one scene and have that reaction, but just watching the whole movie in the entirety and getting to that point, it does that to me every time I watch it. And unfortunately, the Ruby situation is not the same way to me because it's not. It was that initial shock value that was fantastic. The episode is still a good episode, but I'd have to say for like a repeat viewing, I don't necessarily would think I'd classify it as my favorite, but first time viewing, it's my all-time favorite episode ever. So I don't know, that's just me. I mean, and we also get some Snow and Red like introduction, how the two of them met and became friends and stuff. Yeah, so that was cool, and she's just like, I'm Frosty. And I'm just like, really? Frosty the Snowman? Like, really? And then she's like, no, I'm Margaret.
Mary.
No, Mary. And
Mary.
then it's like, wait, she's both. So,
She's both.
Yeah.
Mary Frosty Margaret.
Mary Frosty Margaret. That's hilarious.
Snow Mary Margaret Frosty White.
Blanchard.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
She has to have two names.
Of course she does. So, you guys have anything else to say about these particular episodes?
I I guess it's maybe because we're watching it all in succession, but I'm just getting very sick of the I'm in love with you, let's run away thing.
Yeah.
And probably because these two were similar and happened like right next to each other, where it was both like, I love you, let's run away. And I'm like, oh God, all right, okay.
Yep.
Good luck with that. Doesn't work.
Yep.
It could
So,
work.
next week we'll be covering episode 16, Heart of Darkness, and episode 17, Hat Trick. Episode 16, Heart of Darkness, is once again a snow flashback episode.
Yeah.
Charming it has to stop Snow from killing the evil queen. And then Mr. Gold's also going to act as Snow White's attorney back in Storybrooke. And then Hat Trick goes without saying, it's the Mad Hatter episode. So Cleo's actually going away. And
I'm going on vacation. I will be.
She's
coming
going
to
away
you
on vacation, but because of the episode Hat Trick, she's still going to find time to be here for this podcast.
I'll lock myself in a bathroom if I have to.
Yeah, which is absolutely fun. She'll go down to the hotel lobby.
Lobby's too loud.
That would be fantastic.
Lock myself in a bathroom. No, use somebody else's bathroom. I'm busy.
So, I think hands down this is Cleo's favorite episode. I don't know if it was necessarily her favorite episode.
I don't know if it's my favorite episode ever.
I don't know.
It's just I've been waiting just to watch the Mad Hatter episodes again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think it's it was ever her favorite episode at the time, but because of her love for Bucky Barnes, aka the Winter Soldier, aka everything to do with Marvel, coming back to this now, Sebastian Stan, we loved him here as the Mad Hatter. Everybody did, and it's been so long since we've actually seen him as the Mad Hatter.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be nice to revisit this. So Sally's in chat going Team Bucky, and Alex is like Team Mad Hatter. So technically they're the same team because it's Sebastian Stan, but what is it, Team Bucky or Team Mad Hatter? Is it that what side of the Sebastian Stan fence you're on? Is that what this war is?
Yeah. What would you like to see Sebastian Stan do more?
Me personally, it's Mad Hatter. That's because me and Marvel no longer have a very good relationship.
Oh, you're just being a baby.
I'm going to be honest. The Mad Hatter isn't actually one of my favorite characters. He's not a character I actually like either, so...
Oh, there's going to be a fight next week!
Dom, do you not know me? I don't give a shit.
I'm just hyping up nothing. I'm hyping up the fact that there's going to be a fight next week.
I don't like Mad Hatter.
When you get here and there's not actually a fight, you'll be super disappointed.
I haven't seen that. What fucking movie was that Sebastian Stan was in? I think it was about ice skaters or something. I don't remember. But I've been watching more of like his stuff, and he's just such a versatile actor. It's interesting.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
I want to go back and
it's
watch
like
him as the Mad Hatter.
watching the Mad Hatter and then watching the Winter Soldier. You never know the two of them were the same person. You wouldn't.
Yes, someone put a picture of Sebastian Stan with long hair and Sebastian Stan with short hair, and it's like, why do they look like two different people?
Yeah, they do. And one short hair Sebastian Stan looks like Mark Hamill when he was younger.
Yes, which is very creepy.
It's super scary.
But awesome.
I've seen people do like fake family portraits of them on Tumblr.
That's amazing.
It's just them photoshopped together like in front of a Christmas tree, and it's awesome.
So what would actually crack me up is if we ever got like a flash forward from an older Mad Hatter, they could get Mark Hamill to play Sebastian Stan. It would be fantastic.
Oh my God, yes.
So
please make a Joker reference.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking very forward to next week.
Looking very forward.
Yeah. All right, so I think that about wraps it up. Jake, where can the people find you?
Find me here on YouTube at Jacob Salazar, or you can find me on Twitter. Tweet at me throughout the week, throughout the life, at to Nowhere Land. That is TONOWHERELAND. Join the Nowhere Land Society.
Excellent.
Nice.
Cleo, where can the people find you and your non-song?
They could find me at Clio Moto. I really don't have a song.
You can make one up. Boom.
You gotta do the.
I'm not good at that.
You gotta do the. Hello, Moto. Just do it, Clio Moto.
Clio Moto.
Then Nikki will really be like the only one without a song. And I think her and Rachel don't have one, so we gotta figure out something for them.
I like bees. I think
You
bees
should do a
is my
musical
favorite.
episode.
Yeah. HUFFITY PUFFITY. You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Do 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 do.
Phenomenon.
Phenomenon.
You can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube / ASOTV podcast, for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Till next week.
Bye.
Maybe we'll be in a hat.
I'll change
Maybe I'll
my-
have a hat.
Oh, Cleo's gonna like bust her ass making a hat now before the Mad Hatter hat before she goes away.
Make a hat. No, I have a hat.
Oh, you have a Mad Hatter hat?
Yeah.
Oh,
Heck yeah.
okay.